Most people know Isaac Newton as the man who explained gravity, the physicist with the apple, the laws of motion, the giant of the scientific revolution. What almost nobody knows is that for the last 30 years of his life, Newton ran Britain's money supply, hunted counterfeiters through the streets of London, and accidentally triggered a financial shift that would make Britain the most powerful economy on earth. He didn't mean to, however, and that's exactly what makes this story worth telling. By the 1690s, Britain's silver coinage was in crisis. For decades, people had been clipping coins, shaving tiny slivers of silver off the edges, melting the metal down, and pocketing the difference. The coins still circulated at face value, but they were worth less and less in actual silver content. By 1695, nearly half the silver in circulation had been quietly stolen this way, and merchants across Europe were refusing British coin entirely. Newton was appointed Warden of the Royal Mint in 1696, and he took the job seriously in a way nobody expected. He oversaw a complete recoinage. Old clipped coins were melted down and reissued with milled edges, those tiny ridges you'll still see on coins today. If anyone tried to clip them, the damaged coins would show immediately. It was an elegant physical solution to what had been an invisible crime. But it didn't solve the deeper problem, just as Newton knew it wouldn't. Isaac Newton understood that clipping was a symptom and not a cause. The real issue was that silver was worth more as a raw commodity in Paris and Amsterdam than it was currently in London, which meant merchants were melting down perfectly good coins and shipping the metal across the channel to sell at a profit. It was pure arbitrage, and no amount of better coin design could stop it while the price gap existed. He warned Parliament directly. Unless they adjusted the official ratio between gold and silver, the silver would keep leaving. He was overruled, however, by John Locke. Yes, that John Locke, who argued for keeping silver's value fixed at its old Elizabethan rate, and Parliament sided with him. Newton minted the new coins, the silver left anyway, exactly as he said it would, flowing east to France and the Netherlands, and then further east still, all the way to India and China, where gold was significantly cheaper relative to silver, creating an enormous intercontinental arbitrage that was draining Europe of its silver reserves. By 1717, the silver was almost entirely gone. Newton was asked to investigate and set a new official price of gold. He studied foreign coin assays, mapped global trade flows, and calculated what he believed was the correct ratio. He set 1 gold guinea equal to 21 silver shillings. He was slightly off, however, and his ratio marginally overvalued gold. So gold flooded into Britain while the remaining silver drained out. It wasn't what he intended. He was trying to find equilibrium, not tip the scales, but the effect was permanent. Britain ended up on a de facto gold standard almost entirely by accident, the result of a mathematical miscalculation by the most precise mind of his generation. By 1715, almost every coin Newton had minted between 1696 and 1699 had left the country. What filled the gap was gold, and the gold standard Newton accidentally created became the monetary backbone of the British Empire for the next 200 years. Here's a footnote that they leave out. Newton understood the Asia problem. He wrote about it explicitly. He knew silver was being pulled east because gold was cheaper there, and he tried to correct for it. He just couldn't get the numbers precise enough. And it's worth thinking about the alternative. If Parliament had listened to him in 1696 and properly revalued silver, the arbitrage pulling it towards India and China would have slowed. Britain might have stayed on a bimetallic system. The gold standard might never have happened, or it might have happened somewhere else entirely. The financial centers that define the last 3 centuries might not have been in London or in New York. They might have been in Delhi or Shanghai. One miscalculation by one mathematician changed the trajectory of the global economy, not by design, but by accident. What's your footnote that history's forgotten?